Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Fleming with Norwex, and I think I'm in the group. So it says private group up there. I'm signed on to go I have a little bit earlier. I said 3:30, and I hope if you're signing on you can leave a thumbs up or do something so I know you're here. If you're watching this later, do #replay, so it kind of bumps it up to the top. So as you all know, I'm not that great with technical stuff. And when I wrote the post to create this, what I'm going to be doing, it's called Allergy Triggers and How to Naturally Reduce Them in Your Home. And I'm going to be looking down at my notes because, but anyhow, I was following Facebook's instructions and it said create an event. So I created an event. I think I created it in my group. I don't think I've created it in my whole private Facebook page. But if I did, and you're seeing this, and you're wondering what the heck Stephanie's doing, well, go ahead and join our Facebook community, and then you will know. So I'm going to hang out a little bit here with you and kind of ramble on. It's got about 3 more minutes. And this was I've been working on this all week. I will tell you, and I'll probably repeat this again as people get on, if they get on, because it's Sunday and it's a beautiful day, and I'm sure everybody has a lot of things they're doing. But for me, my schedule, it just worked out good that I said, okay, Stephanie, you just need to do it. So, as many of you might know, Norwex says May is their Allergy Awareness Month. And I thought, well, okay. And, because allergies have affected so many people in my life, so many different ways, including myself. I have had asthma in the past. I don't seem to have any of the problems anymore, which is a good thing. But I grew up with a brother that had very bad allergies. My mom had such terrible allergies, especially towards anybody that was wearing perfumes or fabric softeners on her clothes. It was just terrible, and it was very hard for her. And luckily, she was the one in charge upstairs in the office at our garden center. So she pretty much made it clear that nobody could wear strong perfumes, or I don't know if it was any perfumes or not. But anyhow, I know sometimes at church, people would have problems with different flowers like Easter lilies and things that they would bring in because of allergies. So there's so many different types of allergies out there. And so what I did is this past week, I saw 2 of our top Norwex leaders do 2 different presentations on allergies. And I took what they wrote and I did my own research, and I kind of put everything together so I could share with our group, because I found it so interesting. And I did have links to their presentations, but we all get busy, and honestly, you all don't know those people. Hopefully you know me, and so I wanted to share what I have learned about one of my favorite things, is dust. It's always, I remember my grandmother saying, dust if you must, but you better get it done, or something like that. And it was some kind of German translation, but I never liked the dust. And she always had, it was called lemon. It started with a P. We're not supposed to say the names of things, but we'd spray it, and you take she had old cotton t-shirts and handkerchiefs, and we would use those to polish everything. It was tough. I'll tell you, it just seems like every time I turned around, it was dusty again. And my whole life at our home, there was dust everywhere. And it just seems like it's just a necessary evil that you were always having to dust. So, I dust if I must. And I will be honest, a lot of months went by sometimes and I didn't dust at all. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the things I had to spray to get things clean, which I thought was clean. I have since found out a lot of different things, and that's what we're going to go over today. So I see it's 3:31 on Sunday. If you're watching this, leave a comment, say hi or something. If you're watching this later, just go ahead and do #replay. So what I've done is I've put together kind of an outline. So you're going to see me looking down at my notes because I just can't remember everything all the time. But it's going to be allergy triggers and how we naturally reduce them in our homes. So I want to welcome everybody if you're watching this later, because I think everybody is. I don't think anybody's on here. And I do want to share these tips that I came up with or from listening to other consultants and doing my research. I think reducing the indoor allergens will definitely impact your well-being. It's been proven that it will. I have seen it since I've been using Norwex, and it's not just Norwex. It's taken certain things out of your family. Once I stopped using chemicals and I took them out of our cupboards and stuff, so I wasn't smelling them, my asthma is history. I haven't used an inhaler probably for 4 or 5 years. So that's good. Let's see. So for small changes, because it's hard to change everything at one time, but if we just do one small thing once in a while, over time, it becomes a big thing. So that was something, it's took me a lifetime to pretty much understand. So what we're going to talk about is the first thing. It's where the whole thing is going to be about dust. And dust, what is dust? I've always thought dust was just dirt. Well, apparently it's not. It's made up of 4 basic things. And the first thing are dust mite. So what are dust mite? They are, like I said, I apologize for looking down at my notes, but I need to. They're tiny, invisible creatures that thrive in warm, humid environments. They feed on dead skin cells, and they commonly reside in bedding, on upholstered furniture, and carpets. And I printed this out to show you dust mites. So here they are right down here, evil looking. Here's like someone etched it, but if you have itchy skin, you're sneezing, you're snoring, all that can be attributed to dust mites. And it's kind of disturbing when you think about it. So anyhow, why do they matter? They're waste that the dust mite, they eat our dead skin cells and stuff. So then they produce waste products that trigger allergic reactions. Like I said, it leads to sneezing, snoring, and skin irritants. So some of the tips that we can do to reduce dust mite is, of course, wash your bedding weekly in hot water. So that is important. Use allergen-proof covers on your mattresses and pillowcases, and they do make those. And I am going out to get some. So, because I don't know if mine are or not. Mine are so old. It's a little embarrassing and how, you use the same linens over and over and over. And I think it's time for me to just go ahead and splurge and go ahead and get the allergen-proof covers. You want to reduce the humidity levels in your home to below 50% because, as we said, the dust mites thrive on high humidity areas. So one thing, and this is a hard thing, limit how many stuffed animals are in your children's bedding and wash them, or, we do have some products like the mattress cleaner that you can spray on them and you wait a couple hours and they're not harmful, it's not toxic, and it helps reduce all this. But you want to reduce how many they're hugging and snuggling with at nighttime. And of course you want to vacuum the carpets and upholstery with you want to have like a HEPA filter in your vacuum cleaner. Can help a lot because the vacuum's putting out all sorts of things, and you want to have that going on. Another thing is, of course, if you have air conditioning units, you want to change your filter. We change ours once a month. It's very important. What I didn't realize, now my husband's always bought the ones that it's kind of like an accordion one. Way back when with our first air conditioner, they were more flat, and then they came out with this that it holds more basically. But you want to look up here and see what the filter you're getting is going to protect you with. And so this one that we have, and it's just a simple one from a drugstore, a hardware store, it will protect, it's designated to trap particles down to 3 microns. including dust and lint, pet dander, pollen, dust mites that we are just talking about, mold spores, and bacteria. So, and they have different ratings for these. So if you look on the backs of what, I should be covering that up, on the backs of what filter you're getting, they will have different ratings. And there's some filters that are really high for like when the pollen level's really high. So it might be those months you put in more, they're more expensive, those filters, instead of year round. But this is the one we pretty much use year round. So that's important. Some of the solutions that Norwex has, of course, is the mattress cleaner that I was just talking to you about. So this is, I had to write everything down. This helps break down organic matter, and it reduces dust mites, allergens. And so you basically, when you're washing your sheets and your bed is stripped, you're just going to go spray about 4 or 5 times. I have the double bed, and so it's only a few times. I spray my pillows after the pillowcases are off. And then while the sheets and stuff are washing, that gives it an hour or so or more for it to do what it has to do. And, you know, it's designed to remove, like I said, organic material from mattresses, bedding, and upholstery. So we spray this on the cat's bed. You can spray it on stuffed animals, on your upholstered furniture. Probiotics powdered formula inside it. It's biodegradable, and no optic brighteners, added fragrances, parabens, or phosphates. And they say you shake the bottle before using, spray once or twice on pillows, 4 to 5, 6 on a single bed, a little bit more than I'm doing, 7 to 8 on a double bed, and so forth. You want to wait 6 to 8 hours, they're saying. Well, I typically it's about 3 or 4 hours. You know, you want to wait that before you let your children play with the treated items like the stuffed animals. So this is really good, and they've shown that it can actually make your mattress be lighter because it's getting rid of that organic matter. So that's a pretty cool thing. What else do I have on my list? The laundry detergent, and of course I don't have any of that here. We have the UPP powder. We have the Ultrazyme. It has enzymes in it. It's a dry laundry detergent. We also have the liquid laundry detergent, and we have the laundry strips. All those are free from fillers and fragrances, and they're going to ensure a thorough clean. So when you're washing your clothing or your bed linens, you're going to get it clean. Then of course, my favorite thing is the dust mitt or the EnviroWand. So here's the EnviroWand. This is my original one I got when I joined. It's got like an EnviroCloth on one side. It's more of the Chanel on the other side. It kind of picks up everything. They came up with the new Duster one, which they have as a floor pad also. And it's more of the EnviroCloth on the other side. This is like, it's really like if you're doing shelves and things like that. It's great for getting in between things. This is really great on walls and ceilings and all. And of course, all these are interchangeable. They can go on your mop handle, or you can switch these pads out. So you can just get the cover of one. If you buy one, you can get the cover of the other. So that's all good. But I love the dust mitt, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it basically works on static electricity. So when you go to use it, you want to rub it together really quick, and you're going to, I don't think it's going to do it on my hair, but I've done demos before where it just picks everything up, and you're not dusting. And when I used to do it, the dust was just flying back down in my face. So this is really good. We'll come back to that later. So let's go on to number 2 item that makes up the dust, and that is, and I'm sure you all already guessed, would be pet dander. So pet dander is made up of tiny, even, microscopic flecks of skin shed by cats, dogs, birds, rabbits, and other animals with fur or feathers. These skin particles are incredibly lightweight and sticky, which means they float in the air and cling to our furniture, bedding, clothing, and even our walls. So why does it matter even if you don't have pets? Well, they're major allergy triggers, and my poor son, when he comes to our house, he usually sneezing and stuff because he is allergic to cats. He wasn't when he was growing up. I don't know what's going on, but he's an adult in his 40s, and the cat dander really bothers him. So dander contains proteins from the animal's saliva, urine, and skin that can trigger allergic reactions and even asthma in sensitive individuals. They're invisible and persistent, unlike fur, which we see all over the place, which we see and we clean up easily. The dander is so tiny that it often goes unnoticed. It can stay airborne for a long time, and it settles into soft surfaces, making it hard to eliminate without regular cleaning. And that's why they say you should vacuum your upholstery and things like that. Even homes without pet can have pet dander. It can be brought in by visitors, attached to clothing or shoes. It can come from previous pet owners if you were in a rental or a newly purchased home. And the dander from pets can cause the sneezing, like I said, my son has, itchy eyes, nasal congestion, coughing, skin irritants, and even impact your sleep, especially with people with respiratory issues. So that's the second thing. We got dust mite and pet dander that makes up our dust that's all over our house. Some of the ways to reduce pet dander is brush your pets outside. Don't brush them inside because this stuff's flying all over the place, besides the extra fur that's not in the comb or brush. So, and that keeps the dander loose and fur from settling inside. You want to bathe your pets regularly. Now, you don't bathe cats, they bathe themselves. But your dogs and stuff you can bathe. And that reduces the buildup of dander on their skin. You want to keep them, and this is hard, but keep the pets off your furniture and bed. So this cat of ours that's now 4 years old was a barn cat. He is not a lap cat. He does not get on our furniture. He does not sleep on top of the bed. He has his cat condo that he sleeps in, and then we have a box with some old t-shirts that he loves to sleep in, and then he goes underneath furniture and sleeps. He has a couple different places. Lately, he's been getting like tall shelves and going up high and disappearing. He got in a basket up on top of one bookshelf we had. We couldn't find him anywhere, and then my husband saw these ears peeking out, and he was in the basket. Go figure, crazy cat. But anyhow, you want to keep them off the furniture as much as you can. And it's hard. If you have a dog that's used to getting up there, I got it. I understand it's going to be hard. You want to use HEPA filters in your vacuum and in your AC, like I just showed you. And that helps trap the particles instead of blowing them all over the place. So that's a good thing. You want to declutter soft surfaces. Carpet drapes, cushions can hold dander. So you want to vacuum and wash these off. And you know, full disclosure, I have like a valance going across in our living room. I don't think I've ever washed it. I really don't. I mean, it looks good. I've put the vacuum cleaner up sometimes and it chokes me up. So it might be time to take it down and maybe take it to the cleaners and get it washed. I don't know. I have to look at it. Some of our solutions. Oh shoot, I didn't bring it. We have the pet mitt, which is like a glove that has the back lock in it. So when you can wipe your cat and dog's paws off with it, you can, I use it when the cat comes in soaking wet from the rain because he was too silly to come in when we told him to, and it dries him off pretty quick. But that is a really easy way. We do have like a pet towel, after you've bathed your dog, you can dry them off really quick. And it's a nice size, and it's got like, things that you can put your hands into and just kind of give them a good rub down, and that helps get that dry skin looking good. You can use, where do I have that? The lint mitt, which is this little thing. So this is really good. So it's kind of rough on one side like that. You can use it on your clothing, and you can use it on your furniture. It kind of really pushes up the old fur and stuff and gets it off. Let's see. Of course, the number one thing is our mop system. Because as most of you will know, if you're on a group, this has backlock in it. It works like a static thing. And it picks up all sorts of things on the floor. And then you can do the wet mop later on it. I feel like I'm repeating a lot of things, but a lot of the tools that we have you can use for all sorts of things. One of the best things I find, especially for our cat bed, is the rubber brush, because I can just go like this and it just gets all that stuff up. So that's great. Oh, we do have our new pet line that came out last year. It's our pet and odor stain remover. We have our 2-in-1 dog shampoo. It is not for cats. It's just for dogs. Veterinarian helped Norwex come up with this formula. Do not use it on your kitty cat. And we have the dry deodorant shampoo for dogs. It's not for cats. Cats would not be your friend if you did that. So we have that. We have this really nice like a doormat or a place they can sleep on. It's got rubber on the back. You can throw it in the washing machine. It washes very easily. My cat chooses not to sit on it, so I still haven't used this. I put it out one time and he's like, what is that for? But so we do have those kind of products for you. If you're interested, I can just let me know and I can let you know more information. Okay, the third thing. So we went over dust mite. We went over pet dander that makes up dust. The third thing that makes up dust is pollen. And why does pollen matter? Well, pollen is one of the most common seasonal allergens. I will tell you, I grew up pretty cocky. I felt I was never allergic to anything. My brother couldn't mow the lawn. He sneezed and sniffled his way through childhood. And I never had any problems too. I was probably in my late 20s, 30s, and that's when I got asthma. And I always put it up to, I had a lot of weight gain. And of course, losing weight did help. But I also started getting, in my 40s, I started getting really bad itchy eyes. And 50s, a little bit worse. 60s, a lot worse. Then I discovered Norwex. I started getting rid of things in my home. I think it's a lot better. But the biggest thing is, let me finish reading about this. It comes from trees, grasses, weeds, and is carried into our homes through open windows, vents, and most often to us. So you're outside walking around, taking a walk in the park or something, you're going to come in and have all that pollen. And you've all seen it. It's that yellow all over the car and stuff like that. So it clings to our shoes, our clothing, our skin, and even our pets. Once it's inside, it becomes part of our dust and it lingers. So it comes off of you maybe, but it's floating around and then it just kind of settles eventually on our surfaces and stuff. And you got to dust if you must. So some of the symptoms triggered by pollen is runny and stuffy noses, itchy, watery eyes, and that's what I get a lot, sneezing, fatigue, worsening in asthma. People with seasonal allergies often find that symptoms don't stay outside and pollen is to blame. So, you know, there's not a lot we can do about what's going on outside our world, our home, but there is stuff we can do one step at a time in our home. So here's a few tips to minimize indoor pollen. Remove shoes at the door. I always do. That's how I was brought up because we worked in the nursery. We had dirty, muddy shoes. My grandmother would say, oh, take them off. And so that's how I grew up. My husband, not so much. He wears his shoes and that's okay. But I'm going to show you one thing that we fixed for him. Anyhow, taking your shoes off is a simple act. It keeps a lot of things out. And I wrote this note, if someone doesn't remove their shoes, and we all have people like that, and that's okay. Let me move this stuff. I knew this would happen. I wouldn't be prepared. We have, and this is the large one, it's the Norwex entry mat. Now, I've gone a good while without cleaning this because I wanted to show you guys. This is at our door, and you can see all the stuff that it traps. And to clean it, I do it outside. I sit down outside and I take that rubber brush and I brush it out and then I vacuum it out and it can wash. You can wash it in the washing machine. So that, for those of us that have people that are wearing those, and even me, and even your animals, as soon as they step on it, but a lot of it just stays right in there. And I mean, it stays right in there. That thing holds a lot. So that is a really good thing. And I think I've lost what page I'm on. So where was I? I knew I would mess myself up. We've talked about dust mites and pet dander, and we're on page 3. So we did that, so we're on page 4. Oh, there I am. So the Norwex entry mat I just showed you, and that comes in a large, and it comes in a like a medium size to fit in front of your doors. So they're really good, and I think they still have, I have the black one, but they have like a brown colored one. Of course, going back to your air filters, you want to change those regularly, and you want to look on your air filter that you're buying and make sure that it has the ones that trap the airborne pollens. You want to close your windows on high pollen days. So if, you know, your little app on your phone with the weather says this is a code red day or a cold orange day, and you got allergies, or someone in the house with allergies, you're going to go ahead and close your windows. I mean, we all love that fresh air coming in, but we don't like that, what it can do if you do have asthma and things like that. Dust and mop often, so, you know, and we all know how nice the Norwex mop is. It's very easy. You don't have to bring out a big bucket or anything like that. But you want to do it smartly. So dry dusting with just like a cotton cloth or handkerchief or something, that would just stir things up. And that's how I grew up. We were dusting and dust was flying everywhere. You do the top of your ceiling fan and it just comes right on top of you, and you're coughing and gagging. And then those of us who grew up having to use the sprays, first off, the aerosol isn't that great for us, but a lot of it is sticky. And if you look at the back of the what's inside those aerosol sprays that we would clean our furniture with, it almost defeats the purpose. It looks nice, but it's creating a substance on your furniture that attracts more dust. And so, you know, it's a never-ending circle. And when I dust with this, you know, I get a static charge, I charge it up. It seems like I can go a little bit longer. I mean, you're never, ever going to get rid of all the dust. Clean your window screens. So once a year, it was the big thing. Growing up, I had this, and my husband and I did it. Maybe we didn't do it every year, but because it was a chore. You take all the screens out, you get a bucket of soapy soapy water, and you scrub your window screens, and then you got to rinse them off with the hose and let them air dry. Of course, while they're out there air drying, you got more pollen getting on them, but that's beside the fact. I live next to a farm, and when the farmers farm the field, we have dust just blowing right in. I've heard, when I first met Norwex, you take your cloth, you get it wet, you wring it out really good, you put it on your hand, and you go like this on both sides of your screen while it's in. Oh my gosh, my mitt comes out black. I mean, no lie, it comes out black. I should do a live video on that. I'll try to remember to do that maybe next week. But it's amazing, and all of a sudden your screen is clean. It's just wonderful. And then you just go under the sink and you rinse this out with nice warm water, nothing else, and you rub it together and you let it hang up to dry, and then you use it again. This is one of my other ones I have. I have a light blue one that I originally got, and you can see that I've used it a lot. So it's clean, but it does have a little bit of dark stains in it because, you know, when I clean those window screens, I really scrub them, and that is amazing. So that's a really easy way to keep the pollen from your window screens. When you want to open up your windows on non-high pollen days, you know you're not having a filter of pollen that your air is coming through. Indoor pollen and dust, why it matters and what it helps. During allergy season, pollen isn't just outside. We've already talked about this. It comes inside too. It sneaks in on our shoes, clothes, pets, and even through the screens and open windows. So once it settles on the surface, it becomes part of our dust. So now we've talked about three things: dust mite, pet dander, and pollen. We talked about dusters and dry cloths, just moves it all around. But Norwex microfiber, and we've talked about it before, is so different. To be a microfiber, you got to be 1/7 the size of a human hair. Ours is 1/200 the size of a human hair. So it's so fine, and the way they weave it together, the technology is more like a star shape that it's weaved together, and it's immersed in backlock. What is backlock? That is our silver. So this helps grab and hold on to the dust and pollen instead of sending it flying. So when you're using your wand and you bend it like this to do your, what are those things up in the world that swirl around? Ceiling fan, you're able to not have it all come down on your head, which is a big blessing, because we don't need that. We don't need that. Our mop system, as we talked about, works the same way. And as you're seeing, there's so many things that we have that we can use in our toolbox that are the same thing for all sorts of things. So you don't need a lot of product. And of course, wiping your feet at the with the entry mat. That all equals less pollen, allergen pollens, there's fewer sniffles and sneezes at home. I really apologize for reading all this, but Stephanie can't remember everything. All right, so now we're on to the fourth main component that makes up our dust that's all over our house. And that is, for me, one of the most toxic things is the household chemicals. Believe it or not, your cleaning products, and we've talked about this, may be contributing to your allergy symptoms. Many traditional cleaners contain harsh chemicals, synthetic fragrances, and aerosols, all which can trigger reactions and affect the air quality in your home. Even products that say natural can be full of allergens or I can't say that word, organic compounds, VOCs. These chemicals will linger in the air longer after you clean. So that's troublesome, because, you know, we've talked about this before. For me to be cleaned when I was growing up, it had to smell like bleach or Clorox or that lemony stuff, pine sol stuff. That to me meant something was clean. My grandmother would come in and say, "Oh, you got the floor clean," because I can smell it. Well, clean doesn't have a smell in reality, and that's something we need to retrain our mind to embrace. So symptoms caused or worsened by these chemicals that are in our homes. And just think about when you walk down the grocery aisle of all the household cleaners, those are all sealed. But if you walk down them, and I tell you, I can't walk down them anymore. I go real quick to get the toilet paper and get out, because it's bad. I mean, you can smell the fumes. What people think, you know, the laundry detergent, oh, we want to have it smell like Clean Breeze, or we want to have it smell like this, and all the air fresheners and all the, you know, laundry detergent and stuff. It's bad. Okay, so now you go in your home and you have your laundry room, you have under your kitchen sink, under your bathroom sinks, all these open bottles. Just think how much you're smelling as you walk by. It's just there. It's in the air. And one of the best things I did when I joined Norwex is I took them all out. And we've talked about this before. You can't just take them and put them in the trash. They won't pick them up. I mean, I guess they will if you hide them, but that's not good for our dumps. So if you go to the dump in a box with all your stuff, and believe me, I had more than just a few. I had so many of the same things because I was buying them on sale all the time because I knew I was going to have to use them. But anyhow, I took brand new bottles to the dump, and they have a special place. You can't just toss them to go out in the dump field. It has a special container at any dump that you have to take household products to. You know, they have stuff they have metal, they really sort things out, especially stuff they can recycle, at least at our dump. And so all household cleaners and stuff have to go there. So what does that tell you? I mean, this is what we're breathing in. This is what our kids are breathing in, our pets are breathing in. You know, you're washing your window and your little babies are touching them and then putting their fingers in their mouths. The cats are licking the windows. The dogs have their nose on the windows. They're walking around on the floors. The children are crawling on the floors, and you've just washed it with some toxic stuff to clean the floor. So, you know, it's just something to consider, one small step at a time. So these symptoms are worsened by chemicals is, of course, you get headaches, dizziness, and where am I on my paperwork? There we are, page 5. Sneezing and watery eyes, skin irritations, and respiratory issues, especially in kids and pets. And believe me, pets can get they can be allergic to things, and they can get allergens and things like that, the allergies. Here's the kicker. All these chemicals get absorbed in our household dust. So besides smelling them, they're putting off little microbe things, which are in the air, and then they're settling down, and that's all That's the fourth thing, that is the dust. So what can we do? Well, number one thing is ditch those air fresheners. Scented candles and sprays. If you want a candle, go with the beeswax. Get your essential oils if you want to have some kind of smell. Use something natural. And be careful of companies that are doing the greenwashing, where they say it's all non-toxic and stuff, but if you start looking at the fine print, it's so not. And there's an app, EWG, I think it's called. I have it. Oh, my phone is up here. I'm looking at it. But it's a great app that you can put the name of a product in it, and it will tell you the level of toxic chemicals that are in it. So I've been a little bit shocked at what I thought was safe, really wasn't safe. But anyhow, try beeswax candles. Simmer pots on a stove is great. I used to always do that in the wintertime. You can just take a pot of boiling water. You can put it on simmer, and you can have like a cinnamon stick in it. You can do rosemary, you can do lemons, oranges, all sorts of different things. And if you Google it, they have different recipes and things like that. And that can help make your house smell a lot fresher if you want that kind of smell in your house. Also open the windows whenever possible, but not on those high pollen days. You want to check the labels on our personal care items, and we've talked about that with our skin line. But check and there's other companies I know that have skincare products that are non-toxic and not absorbing into our skin. I like of course, the Norwex. I really have enjoyed the whole skin line thing, but you just need to really be careful of what's in your products. It's so important. Even lotions and soap can cause irritations. You read the ingredients. You want to replace cleaning sprays. We, of course, as you know, just use water in our cloth. It's amazing. I haven't used paper towels or that blue spray on my windows for 5 years. And my windows sparkle and shine. I have no streaks. Same with my mirrors. You don't need these chemicals. It's just amazing. And plus, with our backlock in the cloths, you don't have to wash them as often, which is another good thing. One of the biggest things is avoid dryer sheets and fabric softeners. And dryer sheets are one of the most toxic things we have in our homes. And I never use dryer sheets. I don't have a lot of problem with static in our family. But if you do, you can do the wool dryer balls, and we do have some in Norwex's line. You want to really watch out. And anybody who's had me do a safe haven party with them, we've talked about these things. Many of these are loaded with harsh ingredients. They actually are called a pesticide if you read the back of the label. You want to swap them out for EnviroCloths and just water. And they say it's a disinfecting wipe. It says it kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria and COVID-19 viruses. Who wouldn't buy this? Well, when you go to the back and you start reading that, let's see, to clean and remove allergens, wipe surface clean with this product and let air dry. Okay. For visibly soiled surfaces, clean it first, wipe the surface, use enough wipes to treat the surface keep it remain visibly wet for 4 minutes. Who has time for that? It's not me. And if you're like me, when I was cleaning all my kids' things, I'd take one and I'd wipe it till it was dry. I just kept wiping and wiping. And we have videos where it shows when you do that, you're putting, you're just spreading it from the germs from one item to another. It doesn't really do anything because I'm not following the instructions. I'm not letting it remain visibly wet. For surface that may come in contact with food, you need to rinse it. Let's see. To prevent the growth of odor-causing bacteria for up to 24 hours on hard, non-porous, non-food contact surfaces, you want to let it remain wet for 4 minutes and allow to air dry. Let's see, it just goes on, but it does say how to store it, that they have cautions on here. It's not to keep it away from, it's a violation of federal law to use this product and inconsistent with its labeling. There was something on here that talked about, I probably can't find it. Keep it tightly closed between uses because of the smell. It's a non-fillable container. Do not reuse or refill the empty containers. So how many of these are in our landfill? You can recycle them, so that's a plus. If it's available. Let's see, precautionary statements. Oh, here it is. It's hazardous to humans and animals. And what are we doing? We're sending these to our schools. They're wiping down the surfaces of all the kids' stuff. It's unbelievable. You know, and I thought, well, if it's on the shelves at the grocery store, it's got to be safe. Our government is, you know, taking care of this stuff. Well, apparently not so much. So it's up to us to really watch what's going on. All right, what's next? One of the easy things, if you're new to Norwex or if you've never used any of the products before and you've just been hanging out here because a friend invited you to a party and you joined our VIP group and you happen to be watching this video, is the first thing that I ever bought was the basic package, which was an EnviroCloth. And of course, I'm not going to find anything. I can't find what I want to find. Oh, well, it's an EnviroCloth and window cloth. And that's the basic package. That pretty much can do a lot of things. But we have something called the Safe Haven 5. And in it, it has, here it is, the window cloth. That's I call it the polishing cloth. You have your EnviroCloth, which it just cleans everything. You get the UPP powder, or you can choose the other laundry detergents, whichever one you want. You get the dust mitt, which is, as my grandchildren call it, almost magic cloth. And I don't have it here in front of me, but our cleaning paste for those extra hard jobs that you need for when you need a little bit of extra scrubbing powder. Power. The word is power. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you're watching this on replay, please leave a comment, #replay. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I see Jackie's been watching. Jackie's another Norwex consultant. How are you doing? It's just something, you know, when I was hearing what Norwex was saying about allergens and stuff for the last 5 years, I listened, but I never put it all together. And then watching these other consultants do these presentations this last week, I thought, you know, I need to really share this. And so I hope some of you do watch this later and do #replay. So, as here's my closing, my notes. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I hope this gave you some new ways to think about the air you're breathing now and how dust, pollen, pet dander, and even our cleaning products can affect our allergies in our homes. The good news is you don't have to change everything overnight. And I don't recommend doing that. I mean, that's a lot to have to do, to change everything. Although I will tell you, there's some consultants whose kids were diagnosed with different problems and stuff, and they went all in and saw remarkable changes pretty quick. But even small swaps like ditching the dryer sheets or switching to a safer laundry detergent can make a big difference. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember that Safe Haven 5 set that I just showed you is a great place to start. It's simple, it's effective, and it's chemical free. If you have any questions, I'd love to help you have a healthier home, step by step, a little bit at a time. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments or send me a private message if you want help for picking out what's right for your space or how to get started. So take a deep breath. You're on your way to a fresher, cleaner home. And once again, thank you for joining me. You all have a great rest of your Sunday, or if you're watching this another day, thank you for watching the replay. You all take care. Bye-bye.